Hello everyone, we're back. We're going to move on to saxophones now. Okay, we're going to start by, like we've been doing with flute and clarinet, we're going to go ahead and start by getting things out of the case. And we'll go ahead and we will go to step one, which is testing our alcohol touch to make sure that on lacquered instruments, if you're going to use alcohol or different things like that, I like to do a test area. So this is the cautionary step one on the saxophone section. So I'll grab my alcohol, a little bit on there, and just need to test the spot somewhere that can't be seen. I'm just going to go down here behind this guard, just doing a little bit of alcohol test on it. And what you're doing is you're looking to see if it starts to get milky or cloudy. Same thing that I said on the clarinet test. And I'm not seeing anything. I flipped the Q-tip over to the dry side, and we don't have a problem. So alcohol's safe to go ahead and use on the keys and everything like that. So we'll set that aside. We did our test. And you're going to want to do that test for each instrument because depending on the manufacturer of the instrument, they could use the different kind of lacquer. So it's just a quick, 10-second test to see if the lacquer is going to activate with alcohol-based products. Okay, so as with all of them, we took the stuff out of the case. Like I said, we need to brush the case out, spray it, and do all that kind of stuff. Going to our brushes like we used on everything else. Brushing. Make sure you get the compartments on some of these bigger instruments, get them well. If there's something wrong with the case, like in this case the compartment is a little loose right here, it needs to be hot glue gunned down. Carpet inside or the fur inside is a little loose, it needs to be hot glue gunned down. If you have a hot glue gun to be able to do that, that's great. Hot glue gun, little dab, hold it down. If you don't, make sure to mark it on a repair sheet. So you do all your compartments, get it all brushed out and good. Remember a paintbrush if you need to get spots. Bring those brushes from home, any of those kinds of brushes. I got those at the dollar store. They're not in your kit, but I think you guys got stuff laying around. Okay, so we got it all good to go there. We're going to take our Lysol and do our spritz. Make sure you get the compartments. And we're going to spray and spritz the outside, making sure that, as I have done in the clarinet and flute cases, I'm making sure to get around the latches and the areas where the hand touching is the most prevalent or often. Make sure it's all on there. Set it aside like we've been doing with all of them, and let it dry while you're working on the saxophone. All right, so I have all the accessories out here. The next thing I'm going to address is the neck strap. Again with our Lysol. Okay, just going to give the neck strap a squirt, and I'm going to set it aside here and hang it and let it dry while I'm working on everything. We have our antibacterial soap solution and water for our mouthpiece and our ligature. This particular saxophone did have a mouthpiece cap. Make a note of those things and we'll get you one if we have one in stock. And then the last thing is the top cap off of the saxophone in the soapy water. Alright, so now we're down to the saxophone. Alright, so we've done all that. That was take the pieces, number 2, take the accessories out. We did the case is number 3. Number 4, we sprayed lightly. The inside, number 5, we sprayed outside. So we're at 6. The foil pan, the solution of warm water. 7, mouthpieces. 8, mouthpieces and brush. Now we're going to go and service the mouthpieces and brush, and again mouthpiece brush and toothbrush. If there's a lot of scale inside of the mouthpiece, make sure that you let it soak to loosen a lot of that. So let it have that soak time. We're going from both directions, from the tip of the mouthpiece and the bore side of the mouthpiece in the back. Scrubbing the inside and out. I have my gloves on. I've washed my hands. Again, I've been reiterating many times, wash your hands between instruments. Okay. And we're going to go to our rinse water. And we'll set it aside here to dry. I'm going to go to the toothbrush for the ligature. And last but not least, the cap. Okay, so those things we'll set aside to dry. All right, so that was number 8 with the scrubbing the mouthpieces. Okay, the end of number 8, we're going to do the, it says the alcohol wipe and things like that. So now we set them aside here. I'm going to wipe them dry with the clean towels I've been using to dry with. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the alcohol. Hit the cap. Hit those things with the alcohol. And I'll let them set aside that to dry. Using the pull through. So now we're going to talk about the pull through. So most of us have used the pull through. The only thing I'm going to mention different about my pull through is I've modified it. So you have your typical pull through for saxophone. But most of the time, the string is really just not quite long enough. So what I did is I had an old pull through that had broken at the rag, and so I just took and tied it together to make a double length of a pull through. So it works really well for the alto, tenor, and the bari. It's all long enough for that, a modified pull through. So you got your cloth, go ahead and fluff it out a little bit. And I'm going to do, it says go ahead and spray your Sтерosol, so you grab your Sterosol, and I'm on number 9 using the Sachs pull through. You got the Sterosol, and I'm make sure to flip and get the edges a little bit, not all underneath because that's not going to touch, but I'm trying to get the edges. Then I'm just going to give it a little kick of alcohol on top, just for that little extra oomph. So a little bit of a juggling act, as we all know. Get it started down through the bell, get the weight down, a little shake to get around the corner, and make sure you got your slack, give a shake, and there it is. Going slow so that it has a lot of time to wipe. Okay, and then I'm going to go back, a couple spritzes of alcohol. I'm going to do it a second time. Get it down there around the corner, give it a shake, and there it is. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Now, I got my buffing towel, and like I said, I got a couple of them, so we're rotating sometimes. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take just a little bit of alcohol on my buffing rag to just kind of get that edge. Just a little bit there. Okay. So the inside. So now we're going to go ahead, that's number 9. We did the pull through and all that kind of good stuff. Now number 10, take the paintbrush and lightly do any of the debris. So we're going to go ahead and do like what we did on the clarinet. Especially any kind of debris that might be around the finger pearls and down the rods. You're going to go ahead and get in between and just knock the dust bunnies and the debris and stuff out from in between. Okay, so that was number 10, and then using a Q-tip. So I have my Q-tip from testing earlier. I'll spray some more alcohol on it, and number 11 is using a Q-tip with Sтерosol or alcohol. You go ahead and you're gonna clean in between, especially anywhere that you might see a buildup, like around the edge of a pad, around the edge of the finger pearls where the finger jam and schmutz will build up from touching. So you can see the buildup on the Q-tip already, just of what, okay, of what was built up. And I know I'm going fast. You will take more time, and I'm just kind of speeding through to give you the idea. Try to keep the videos somewhat short. So you get the idea. You'll clean thoroughly. Okay. Then clean the top of the keys with cotton ball, and again, Sтерosol alcohol. As I said before, I'm just trying to save materials by switching between the Sterosol and the alcohol. So now I'm going to do the top of the keys with the alcohol, with the cotton ball, with some alcohol or Sterosol. All of the finger pearls, the touch points. And you don't have to hold it, you can be doing it on the table. Again, I'm trying to do some things for video purposes up so that you can see it. You get the table, palm keys, trying to get all those different touch points, thumb rests, okay, octaves. All right, so we've done our diligence there. So Q-tips, then we've done the cotton ball, so we're at 12, or now we're the 13 Sachs neck snake. So you'll have a small Sachs neck snake in your kit, okay, and again, spraying Sterosol or alcohol. You'll be able to go part way. And these will work in all of the different Sachs necks. Now, the other side, there's a couple of things I use. I can totally take the mouthpiece brush that I was using, shake it out, because we went so far, and we can soap and water the inside of that. Okay. And then a trick, because this guy's got a pad on it, trick, so before I go too far about the trick. So yeah, I did that. You could have also went this way too. I just don't want to throw it in there and submerge it because of the pad on it. Okay? If you can find yourself a glass, or bring yourself a glass, you dip some of your rinse water, and from the back side, with it open, pour just a little bit through to rinse it out. And I'm keeping the octave pip open to where when it comes out the octave pip, it's not touching the pad. And then go ahead and dry it off. Wipe your cork off, all that kind of good stuff. So we're all good and scrubbed and clean. Okay? Final thing is go ahead and take that cotton ball you were using with a little bit of Sтерosol or alcohol on it. Go ahead and clean that cork just a little bit lightly. Not gonna totally kill it. And then the final thing you need to do is put a little bit of cork grease back on. Okay, and then go ahead and take a clean buffer or a clean bar towel. Go ahead and dry. Make sure that that pad is dry. Go ahead and give everything a good wiping at the tenon. Go ahead and set that aside. So we've done the inside, we've done the outside. The only other thing that's not necessarily on the list that I like to do, like I said, I'm giving you guys the general things. So we've done all this stuff and we've brushed around, we've moved stuff around. We might have accidentally knocked some debris back down through. So before I'm absolutely done and I want to stick it in the case ready to go, is I'll run one more wipe through it with the damp pull through to get any last debris chunks or anything that might have been in there. So now everything is good. Our mouthpiece and cap and ligature, everything's been sitting there drying. So now I'm going to look at that. Cap is dry, so I'll go ahead and insert it into my clean Sachs. And a little bit wet there where the alcohol hasn't quite dried. So the clean towel I know, I'll give it just a dab and go ahead and put the ligature on it. And so we're ready to go back in the case. Let me make sure I haven't missed any steps. We cleaned the top of the keys. We used the Sachs necks on 13, 14 tenons and sockets. We did the cord grease and things like that. 15, okay, so finger pearls. So make sure, like I said, you check the finger pearls, clean for debris around them. Also check to make sure they're not loose, if that's something you don't need to add to your repair sheet. The other thing is number 18, any body dents, chips, loose screws, things like that, go ahead and if you got a screwdriver, tighten them up a little bit, otherwise add it to your sheet. And other than that, when the inside of the case is dry, number 19, we go ahead and get everything back. So just do a light check, and this is dry. So we'll go ahead and reassemble it. So it's all dry inside. We'll go put our saxophone back inside and get our neck and our accessories returned. Everything's dry and returned. Go ahead and latch it up. And then any last places that might still be a little bit wet from spraying the disinfectant, we will set aside. Okay? If you have your repair form, make sure to stick your repair form with the teacher facing out. So that concludes everything. That's everything about the saxophone. Now we'll be moving on to our next instrument. Thank you.